Hello Stampers, Kelly Acheson at Stampabub.com coming to you from Menasha, Wisconsin. I have a great tip for you today, and we are going to use the Stamparatus as a template. Now, I've shown you this before, this idea, but I figure it never hurts to review stuff because I know there's a lot of things that I see and then forget about. And sometimes this can be kind of a difficult concept to grasp. So, seeing it more than once isn't a bad thing. Now, it may seem kind of crazy, but I am making Christmas cards today. As a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, one of the funnest things that we do is to make swap cards. And with a brand new holiday mini catalog coming out September 5th, a month early, August 1st, we get to start ordering from that mini catalog so that we can start making projects for the upcoming holiday mini catalog season. So I'm excited to show you a little sneak peek here today and a swap card that I made. Now my swap card uses a little template, I should say a little thinlet. So we've got the outline thinlet and then the words inside. And while you could stamp all this up and then use the framelit to cut it out, when you're making a whole bunch of the same kind of card like we tend to do with swap cards or Christmas cards, sometimes things can move on you or you have to use tape with them every time so that your framelit stays in place while you're running it through your Big Shot. The way that I use my Stamparatus as a template has solved all those little issues when you're making a bunch of cards with the same framelit. So let's get started and I'll show you how I do this. So I've just got a scrap piece of white cardstock here, and I'm going to bring it in and push it to the top and right side corner of my Stamparatus. I'm going to put a magnet up here and a magnet down here. I want to make sure that this stays in place firmly. I've already put the outline for the framelit on the glass. So I just lay it on my paper and then I press the glass onto it and it sticks on there. So I've got that in place already. We're going to stamp that, and I'm using Sahara Sand ink here. Oops, and I think I didn't get it inked all the way up. See that? Now here's the cool thing about the Stamparatus. When something like that happens, you can just ink it and stamp it again and again if you need to. I need to get my ink on there. There we go. Okay, now then I took the stamps and bright, these little words, and I'm not going to move the ones I have because I've already got those positioned, but I'll just show you with another set of words here. So I've got the word holiday. You're going to take your word stamps or image or whatever else you may be using, and you're going to put it right in the middle of the image that you want it to stamp in the center of. And so I've done that. Once you get that straight, and you can hold it in place, these darn photopolymer stamps, I love that they're sticky, but sometimes it's tricky to get them to stop sticking to your fingers. You're going to close this on your words, and it's then going to stick to this plate. So that's what I've done here. And hang tight, I'll give you a sneak peek of this stamp set and all the little elements I used for this card. So now we're going to ink this up with Mary Merlot. And don't worry about getting ink on your plate here. That will not hurt a thing. And you're going to stamp that, and it's going to be perfect every single time. Here, let me move this over so you can see what I'm talking about. You see I got ink all over my plate? Don't worry about it. It wipes right off. No big deal. Okay, once you have this done, now you can cut this out in your Big Shot. I bring my Big Shot in and show you why this is such a cool way to use your Stamparatus. So once you have this all lined up perfectly, put your plate on there carefully so you don't move that die. bring our Stamparatus back in here. And now we've cut out our and bright, and it's perfect. If you don't get it perfect, you want to work until you do get it as close to perfect as you need it to be, because this is then going to be the way each and every one stamps, and you want it to, you know, look good, right? Okay, now we are going to bring this template back in here, push it into the corner and over to the side, put the magnets on to hold it in place. And now I've just run this framelit through my Big Shot, and I need 22 of these labels. I've run it through 22 times. You're going to take your little labels, put them back in the template, ink up your images, ink up the other words, and you can stamp these over and over and over and don't have to worry about this framelit being positioned just right on your original cardstock, because, you know, sometimes they move in there. This has been like an aha moment for me. I absolutely love that I can do this with my Stamparatus because it saves me so much time. And of course, when you're working on Christmas cards or swap cards like I'm working on, where I'm making a bunch of the same card, that's where this technique is beneficial. If I were only making 1 or 2 cards, I don't think I would go through this process. But I think Christmas cards is a great one to do this technique with, because we make a whole bunch of Christmas cards, or Valentine cards, or maybe you have a favorite birthday card that you've made and you're going to make up 10 of them. Then it would be beneficial to do this, because look at how much quicker it is than stamping all of these, trying to get everything straight, especially with a frame like this. That's tricky, right? Each time they come out just perfect. So let's take a look at our card. I've got a whole bunch of these stamped already. I've got a bunch more to do, but I'll take care of those a little bit later. The card that I'm making today is a very simple card, but it's a beautiful layout. I'm using the new Swirls and Curls embossing folder. Isn't this pretty? It's perfect. And it's actually on the same page in the new holiday mini catalog with the Merry Christmas to All greeting stamp set. See, it has that little frame in there and some fun little swirls, some ivies, and lots of words to mix and match. And then also this Merry Christmas Thinlit set. And I know these are backwards, but this says Christmas, Holidays, Merry, and Happy. It's got the little frame and also the big frame. So there's your little sneak peek. We've also got the Joyous Noel Designer Series paper. Oh my gosh, you guys, this has a copper accent in it. This is a specialty paper. Oops, hang on. Get this right out of here so you can see how gorgeous this is. Again, with copper. Beautiful, beautiful paper. Oh, look at the reindeers. I love this one. I can't wait to make something with that. Backside. Here's more copper. Backside, more copper, and the backside. Gorgeous, gorgeous set of Designer Series paper. So I chose this pattern for my swap, and I ran the front of my card through the embossing folder, and now I'm going to show you just a few little tips on how I put this together. So I've got some strips of 1/4 inch copper foil paper, and I am just going to tape this to the back edge. So I'm butting it up against my Designer Series paper. Now this layer is 2 by 4, and my copper foil paper is 1/4 inch wide, and now I'm just going to cut it to be the same length. I just find that's easier than cutting 4-inch pieces and then you have to trim them here and there, and sometimes they're too short, and ugh, you know how hard that can be. Then I've got the Tea Room ribbon combo pack. You get both of these rolls of ribbon. This is a Coastal Cabana with a gold edge on it, and then this is a vanilla with a copper edge on it. And I thought that ribbon would match this card just perfect, right? So now I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm going to cover up the seam, and I'm just using a little bit of tape here. To add my ribbon to the back side. I see I got my ribbon or my tape a little bit too long, so I'm just going to trim that off so we can't see that on the front of our card, because that wouldn't be very attractive, right? Okay. Here's there we go. Okay, so there's our little piece covered up with that ribbon. Isn't that pretty? I love, love, love how Stampin' Up's products all coordinate, right? It makes life so much easier for me when I'm designing cards. That's one of my favorite things about Stampin' Up, is the color coordination and how easy it is to use the products when they give you enough tools, right? You have enough tools. We have paper and ribbon and foil sheets and embossing folders, and I thought these swirlies just looked really cute with this. You're gonna get so many tips in this particular video. Holy cow. I'm taking my liquid glue and I put it on just a plate. I've got a clip holding a little piece of sponge here. I'm going to take one of my many Marys, and I say many, I've got a whole pile here. These are cut out of our copper foil paper, and I'm going to put them on my silicone mat, and I'm going to add my glue like this. This is like the best way to put glue on these intricate little dies. My silicone sheet will wash off. We don't need to worry about that. I'm going to bring my Mary in here, press it. Whoops, it stuck to my finger because I got some glue on my finger. Hang on. There we go. And then we're going to take one of these bold brights, or I should say and bright, so it's got Mary and bright on there, and add some dimensionals to the back of this little label. And pop that right down here in the corner. There we go. I've also got a layer that we can put on the inside. I haven't bought this far yet. So it says Merry and Bright there. I think we'll stamp this big image because I love the font on it on the inside. So hang tight. Just gonna mount this. And I think we'll use Mary Merlot. I'm gonna bring in one of my piercing mats to stamp this because we need a little extra cushion under there. Oh my gosh, how beautiful is that? And now, if we want to dress it up just a little bit more, I can take another piece of this copper and put that right over on the edge. And I think that's a great idea. I'm just going to add my glue right to my layer of cardstock. Ooh, this is just so fancy, isn't it? Turn it over and cut that off on the back. And here goes the inside of our card. I know it's hard to be thinking about Christmas when it's August, but we have to get a jump start on this, don't we? How pretty is that? There's your sneak peek from me. Some great tips using our fabulous Stamparatus. I absolutely love this tool, you guys. There are so many different neat things you can do with it. If you don't have one, I do sell them. You'll find a link to my blog in the top right corner. You can click on that. It'll take you right there where you can order your Stamparatus. These are only $49, which is a fabulous price for such an amazing positioning tool. You'll also be able to order from the Holiday Mini Catalog some of these products that I've given you a sneak peek of, starting on September 5th. Now, if you don't have a demonstrator and you'd like to get your hands on this Holiday Mini Catalog, pop me an email. My email address is on the screen, and I'd be happy to send you a Holiday Mini Catalog. You're gonna love it. I tell you, I just did my pre-order as a demonstrator. We get to order 1 month ahead, and holy cow. Whew, I couldn't stop myself. There's so many great things in this catalog. Thanks so much for taking a little bit of time out of your day to spend with me. Bye-bye.